Thank you for joining us here on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett. Let's get right to your headlines. Right now, MPD searching for the people involved in a violent crime spree early Tuesday morning. 6 crimes involving shootings and robberies, all within the span of 2 hours. Michelle Beck is here with everything we know.
Minneapolis police say there's at least 3 suspects behind these very crimes: 2 shootings, burglaries, aggravated robbery, and a carjacking at gunpoint. And you can see right here, one of the shootings was caught on camera. Time-stamped 5:01 a.m. yesterday. The suspects get out from their car, then point their guns at and shoots, according to police, a neighbor who's standing behind his window. Take a good look at these suspects. They moved quickly around South Minneapolis. Roughly 40 minutes into their spree, MPD even activated a specific protocol for the first time this year and flooded the area with officers.
It is part of the same pattern, a number of crimes happening very quickly in a very small time span, and also in kind of a defined geographic area. But we don't know as of yet what the motivation for this was, or what is connecting any of these garages other than, just random opportunity.
So far, police have found the stolen car. They also say they have the suspect's car, but again, not the suspects themselves. Back to you.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. Tomorrow, the final votes will be cast for the city auditor to investigate alleged police inaction in the death of Allison Lusher. The 47-year-old was found dead in her apartment a year ago. Her family said she called police just days earlier to report being assaulted by her boyfriend and had months of other documented domestic violence incidents. Her family is hoping the audit will give them answers. The chief says officers are diligently working the case.
We need transparency. I need transparency. Our family does. Our Indigenous community needs this transparency.
The MPD remains committed to pursuing justice, and we will continue to cooperate fully with our law enforcement and prosecutorial partners to ensure that all appropriate legal avenues are explored.
MPD submitted the case to the Hennepin County Attorney's Office in June. They released a statement saying developing a chargeable case has been and continues to be their focus. Maryland Avenue is back open in St. Paul this morning following a crash involving a police officer about 10 hours ago. This is new video of the scene just off of 35E. Police say an officer was responding to a crash just before 8:30 last night when they hit a car, causing them to crash into a building. Both drivers are expected to be okay. Well, today, the future of the Twin Cities Metro will be up for a vote. The Met Council is expected to make a decision on its Imagine 2050 plan by the end of the day. Audrey Russo is in St. Paul with details.
The Metropolitan Council says Imagine 2050 is at the center of pretty much everything they do. So when they vote to adopt it today, and it's likely that they will adopt it, it's going to change how cities offer public services to their people. Now, Imagine 2050 is all about protecting the environment and eliminating inequality in the 7-county Twin Cities region. For example, the plan supports cities in developing sustainable water services. It gives cities funds to make public transportation compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act, and it also requires cities to provide more affordable housing. The entire plan hinges on a forecast that shows population growth in the Twin Cities over the next 3 decades.
This is still a region that is growing, is gaining population. There is going to be housing development that follows that.
They predict adding about 650,000 people in the Twin Cities region by 2050. Minneapolis projected to surpass 500,000 people. But one of the fastest growing cities is Carver, whose population is expected to nearly triple by 2050. Now, the forecast only predicts about 10 cities losing population in that same time frame. For example, Mahtomedi is expected to lose about 230 people by 2050. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Have you seen this statue? Police in St. Paul are looking for whoever stole the copper statue of a young F. Scott Fitzgerald. It sat outside of St. Paul Academy on Dale Street, where the author attended classes. So police ask anyone who noticed anything suspicious outside the school between the 3rd and the 7th of this month to give them a call. This morning, NASA has a new plan to bring home 2 astronauts who have been stuck in space for months. Now, Tom Costello is here with the new plan and why it's taking so long to bring this crew home.
At your feet, Sonny. Okay.
For months, NASA has insisted Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams are not stuck in space. They have a space capsule lifeboat in case they'd ever have to abandon the space station.
Ignition and liftoff of Starliner and Atlas V.
But Butch and Sonny launched on a 10-day mission back on June 5th. Their return trip delayed because NASA didn't trust Boeing's troubled Starliner to bring them home. Instead, they were reassigned to SpaceX Crew 9, staying on station until February. Then candidate Trump called on Elon Musk to bring them home sooner.
You know, he's going to send a rocket up very soon to pick up the two guys. How would you like to be stuck in space?
They can return when SpaceX Crew 10 arrives to take over at the station. But then Crew 10's February launch was also delayed. President Trump posting on Truth Social, "I have just asked Elon Musk and SpaceX to go get the two brave astronauts." Now NASA and SpaceX say Crew 10 will launch on March 12th. Butch and Sonny should then come back a week or so later on Crew 9.
This is my happy place. I love being up here in space.
In January, Sonny Williams joked that she's ready.
I'm trying to remember what it is like to walk because I haven't walked, I haven't sat down, I haven't laid down. You don't have to. You can just close your eyes and float where you are.
Former astronaut Mike Massimino has been in touch with Sonny. When they get back on Earth, are they going to feel the effects, which some astronauts said they've actually kind of felt sick when they get back to Earth?
They're going to be adjusting their vestibular system. Their balance system will be off maybe a little bit at first, but they'll get that adjusted. They should be plenty strong and healthy because they've been exercising every day. But it's always a bit of an adjustment.
Eventually, we want to go home because we left our families a little while ago, but we have a lot to do while we're up here. We got to get all that stuff done before we go home.
And I am sure they are eager to make it back. All right, take a look at the mess moving across the U.S. this morning. Parts of the country seeing several inches of snow overnight, and the snow and frigid temperatures are making a huge mess of the roads, as you can see here. The snow also forcing schools in several major cities to close for the day. And this is only the beginning. Forecasters are predicting at least 2 more storms will move across the U.S. through the next few days. This morning, we are just 1 year away from the start of the Winter Olympics in Italy. Crews have been working around the clock to work on the venues in Milan and in the mountains of Cortina. One city watching all the preps closely, Salt Lake, where the games will be held in 2034. That's where Jay Gray is this morning with a preview of next year's competition.
Mixed with the old world beauty of Milan, there are new signs of what's to come here in the mountains of Cortina. Crews continuing their work a year away from welcoming the world to the Winter Games.
Very busy, yes. Exciting though, very exciting.
A little too exciting at the Sliding Center, where construction teams are working around the clock to get the bobsled, luge, and skeleton track up and running. The deadline for pre-certification of the track is the end of March. The International Olympic Committee so concerned it's announced a backup plan that would move the events to Lake Placid, New York if the venue isn't ready in time. The deputy director of the Ice Center isn't worried about his stadium being ready. The grandson of Italy's torchbearer in Cortina in 1956 says he's more concerned about he and his brother making the cut to represent their country in 2026.
It will be great if I can make it to curling, he can make it to hockey, and my grandfather can carry the torch again.
The fire is already burning in many of Team USA's medal hopefuls, the competition intensifying as the athletes get closer to the Olympic trials.
Yeah, I love competing. I feel like I really thrive in competition. And I mean, there's so much love too for the teammates, for the sport, for the whole everything that we do that comes with the competing.
Competition, the Americans hope, will lead them to the top of the podium in Italy. Jay Gray, NBC News, Salt Lake City.
Well, stay with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.